Welcome back, everybody. My name is Abby. This is a yoga practice for healthy digestion. So if you are currently digesting some food, if you've just eaten, if you've got a full belly, or if you just want to take a break and breathe deeply and be with your body, this practice is for you. And in terms of props, I'd love for you to have 2 blocks, a strap or a belt, and a blanket. So to start out, we'll take our strap. So grab hold of your strap and we're just going to take it between the hands and start by lifting the strap up overhead. And I'm just kind of swaying a little bit right to left. If it feels good to do a little side bending, you can do a little side bending. If you have a fused spine, just bend mindfully and very gently. The emphasis here is just opening up some space in the side bodies and the side ribs. You don't have to move the spine much unless it feels really good to. My hands are just kind of gently pulling apart, stretching the strap a little bit. And I'm just going to slow my breathing down. Finding some space in my lungs, my ribs, front and back of my chest. And then it might feel good to open the arms even a little wider, continuing to breathe and sway a little side to side. And then taking the hands as wide as you need to then take your arms all the way behind you. So stretching into the fronts of the shoulders. I'm still swaying a little bit because it just feels nice. We can come all the way back up. Give a little sway side to side here. And then again, taking the arms all the way behind us, stretching into the front of the chest and the shoulders. Breathing well, breathing calmly. And then you can release the strap down. I'll just give the arms a little shake out. So especially after eating a big meal or just having a full belly or a sensitive belly, it can be nice to create a little bit more space up in the rib and thoracic cavity area. So now we're just going to continue with that, taking the hands to the ribs, closing the eyes, and just breathing into the hands. Feeling the movement of the ribs. You can move the hands around a little bit, maybe taking the hands and kind of hooking them on the outer ribs. Just feeling all of that expansion that comes into the chest. And as you do that, just relaxing your belly. And then we'll take the hands down to the belly. And continuing to breathe up into the ribs and the lungs. And just inviting a sense of softening and movement into your belly as well. We'll take one more big breath in and out. And then you can open the eyes, take the feet nice and wide, and we'll turn the feet outward slightly, bend the knees, and take the hands to the thighs. And then again, I'm just going to sway a little bit right to left, stretching my inner legs, feeling my knees and ankles and hips start to move and groove a little bit. And then settling into the center, I come up just a little higher, so pelvis is a little higher than the knees. And I take my arms out into a cactus. I'm bringing a little bit more strength into my legs and to my upper back as my spine approaches a little bit of a back bend. Heels are pressing down and wide. Knees are opening slightly outwards. My outer hip muscles are engaged. And then from there, we'll come up to straight legs. And then we're just going to pivot right into warrior 2 with the right knee bend. So arms are going to open, right knee bends, bringing a little blood flow into the legs. And then from there, we'll inhale, reach the arms all the way up, parallel the feet as the legs straighten. And then as you exhale, warrior two with left leg bent. And we're just going to alternate between those two sides. So inhaling again, reaching all the way up. Exhaling, warrior two, right leg bending, arms opening. And then again, inhale, reach up. Exhaling, warrior two, left leg bends. A few more times at your own pace. Each inhale lets you rise back up. Each exhale brings you back into warrior two. And one or two more on each side. Breathing slowly, moving slowly. And then we're going to meet back in a goddess pose. So bending both knees, arms come out in cactus once more. You can shimmy a little side to side. If your legs are just toasted, you can take your hands to your thighs instead. And then we'll straighten the legs back out. Walk the feet all the way together. Come to the top of the mat. Give the arms and the legs a little shake out. And then we'll shift the weight over to the left leg and pick up the right foot, drawing the right knee towards the chest. You can either just hold the knee here with the strength of the hip flexors and abdominals, or you can interlace the hands around the right shin. Just giving a little pull up of the knee or a lift of the knee as you lift the heart. And then from there, we'll step back into a high lunge, bringing the right leg all the way back, lifting the heart and the arms up. And as you stay here, a little soft bend in the right knee, a little lift of the pelvis so that your right hip flexors are getting a nice stretch. And then from there, we're going to shift forward slowly back into that standing balance. Knee lifts, hands can again interlace around the shin. And then stepping all the way back again, high lunge. And then shifting forward again, knee to chest, balancing on that left leg. Once more, back to your high lunge. And once more forward into that standing balance. And then setting the foot back down, give the legs a little shake. And then same thing, other side, shifting the weight over to the right foot, picking up the left knee. Knee towards chest, you can either just hold it there with the strength of the leg and belly or interlace the hands. Or finding a focal point for your eyes to rest so that it's a slightly easier to balance. And then reaching your left foot all the way back, high lunge, second side. Keeping a little bend in the back knee, a little lift of your belly and pelvis so your left hip flexors can feel some length. And then shifting forward, knee lifts, hands can hold the shin again. And then reaching the left foot all the way back, high lunge again, landing as softly as you can. And then again, shifting forward, knee towards chest. And then shifting back, high lunge. And again, shifting forward, knee to chest. And then set the foot back down. Legs can shake, arms can shake. And then from here, we'll sit back into a chair pose. So reaching the hips back and down. Arms can either reach alongside the ears or come to your heart, or they might even return to cactus if that feels supportive for the back. So again, bringing some blood flow into the legs, pressing the heels down and apart. Outer hips are a little active. Quads are very active. And then we'll inhale, reach all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead. And then again, exhaling to chair pose. And then again, inhaling back up to Urdhva Hastasana. And then back down to Utkatasana, chair. Again, inhaling, reaching all the way up. Once more to chair pose, Utkatasana. Last time, all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. And then this time we're going to wiggle the feet wider and sink back into Malasana. So a little deeper for the squat. Toes are turned out, knees are bending pretty deeply. And you can either stay a little higher in the shape, forearms resting on thighs, or if it works, you can sink even lower. Elbows can press the inner knees apart as you lift the heart up. And then we'll come all the way back up to Urdhva Hastasana. And then all the way back down again to Malasana. And then again, inhaling, rising all the way back up. Exhaling, lowering back down. Nice inhaling, reaching all the way back up. Exhale once more, Malasana. Inhale, stretch all the way back up. And then exhaling, parallel the feet, bring the hands back together again. And then from here, we'll shift the weight again over to the left leg. We'll pick up the right foot. And then cross the right ankle over the left thigh, reach the hips back and down. Stretching now into the outer right hip, keeping the spine nice and tall. Right foot slightly flexed, left toes spread. Feel free to hold onto a wall or windowsill if you'd like. And then come all the way back upright. And then switching over to the other side, weight shifts to the right leg. Pick up the left knee. And then cross the left knee over the right thigh. Hips reach back and down. Keep a little flex in that left foot. Keep the right toes spreading. And then all the way upright again. Both feet to the ground. And then once more, we'll shift over to the left foot, pick up the right. This time coming into a quad stretch. Inner thighs draw towards each other. Right heel towards your glutes. Low belly slightly lifts, stretching down to the quads that we just worked. And then releasing that side, shifting over to the right side again. Picking up the left foot, left hand to ankle or foot. Inner thighs draw towards each other. Heart lifts. Tailbone reaches down. Low belly slightly lifts, stretching into left quads and hip flexors. And then releasing that side. Both arms and legs can have a little shake out. And then from here, we'll come all the way onto the ground to a seat. And you may want a blanket underneath your butt for this. We're going to go crisscross applesauce with the legs. So if sitting here is a challenge for your hips, you may want to sit up on a blanket, kind of right on the edge of the blanket so that your pelvis is a little tilted forward. And this might be enough if you're already feeling some stretching in the outer hips. Great, you could just stay right here. Encourage the thighs to be heavy. If you would like to fold forward, getting a little more sensation for the outer hips, you can fold forward. This is where blocks might come in handy. You can bring forearms or even your forehead to blocks or a pile of blocks. Just make sure that they're stable and sturdy enough to hold you there. And the more you fold forward, the more you might feel some stretching sensation in the outer hips, especially the hip of the leg that is in front. We'll just take a couple more breaths here, slowing the breathing down. Still feeling the breath move into the lungs, the ribs, encouraging the belly to relax. And then coming back up, and we'll switch over to the other side. Just switching the crisscross of the legs. And again, no need to fold forward if you're already feeling like, okay, that's a lot. You can stay here with or without a block under your butt, or you could start to fold over the legs, supporting yourself perhaps with a block or a couple of blocks. Letting the hips, the thighs, the pelvis be pretty heavy. Breath still expanding around the lungs, in the ribs, letting the belly be soft. A couple more breaths here. And then coming back up to a seat if you've been folded over. And then from here, we're just going to extend the legs out in front of us. I'm going to lean back, holding myself up with my hands. So this is not a big hamstring stretch, ideally. We're just going to give the legs a little shake and a little wiggle. Get the blood flowing again. And then we're going to come into a seated meditation. So you can do this however you'd like. I like to sit up on a block and a blanket. So I'm going to kneel, take a block between my ankles, either on the lowest or medium height, and then take a blanket on top of that, so it's a little bit softer. If you have a meditation cushion, you can also slide that under your butt. I like to kneel rather than sit crisscross-legged or in lotus, just because it feels a little bit more balanced, a little more even. And then as you find a seat that feels comfortable, you can just let your eyes get a little bit heavier, not totally closing them just yet, but finding a soft spot to focus. Taking a couple breaths just to feel your spine lengthen, maybe noticing a shift in the pace of your breath. And then from here, we're going to come into a breathing technique called Nadi Shodhana. And I'll turn to face you so you can see what my hands are doing and what my nose is doing. This is alternate nostril breath. I'm going to take my right hand, pointer and middle finger go to the third eye. And then the thumb is going to close the right nostril as I breathe out through the left. And then in through the left. Close the left with the right ring finger, open the right, and breathe out through the right. And then in through the right. Close the right, breathe out the left. And then in on the left. Close the left, out on the right. In on the right. Close the right, out through the left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. And then just continuing in that pattern. Out and then in on one side, and then switching out and then in on the other side. Next time you breathe out through your left side, finish that exhale. And then release the hand down. Take a big breath in through both nostrils. And out through both nostrils. A couple more breaths, just breathing in and out through the nose. And then bringing one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Closing the eyes if they're not already closed. We'll take an inhale together. And a sigh out the mouth. Once more, inhale. Exhale, sigh. And both hands can then come to your heart, just acknowledging the strength of your heart, strength of your body, all of its systems that work even when we are not intentionally encouraging them to, our digestive system, our respiratory system, all those internal systems that are here keeping us alive and moving forward. Thank you so much for joining me here, continuing to breathe and be with your body. I hope the rest of your day is delightful, and I will see you soon.